Imagine all your audio entertainment available in just one place. That's what the Audible app is all about. With Audible, you can always find the best of what you love or discover something new. Audible has an incredible selection of wellness titles and originals, like The Light Podcast by Michelle Obama, Work It Out by Mel Robbins, and Confidence Gap by Russ Harris. Membership includes access to Audible originals, podcasts, and tons of audiobooks that you can download or stream as much as you want. And as an Audible member, you can choose one title per month from an ever-growing catalog of titles to keep. The Audible app makes it easy to listen anytime, anywhere, whether you're traveling, working out, doing chores, wherever your day takes you. New members can try Audible now free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/motivation or text motivation to 500-500. That's audible.com/motivation or text motivation to 500-500 to try Audible free for 30 days.
The weather is cooling down a bit. The leaves are starting to fall. Yes, it's that time of year again. Football season. And we all know the best part of any game day traditions are the ones that involve food. There's nothing like having everyone in your game day crew coming together to bring their best bites and argue over whose family makes the best chili. And while there's no need to mess with the perfection of game day classics, like a freshly grilled Oscar Mayer hot dog topped with Heinz ketchup and mustard, it's always fun to step out of your comfort zone and get creative with your recipes. Because there's nothing more fun than adding to your list of game day traditions, like making a creamy and delectable queso dip with Velveeta cheese that can be eaten with so much more than just chips. Now is the chance for people across the nation to find out whose game day eats reign supreme. It's your turn to show off your tasty game day food traditions. Go to www.gamedayfoodtraditions.com to share a photo of your game day food tradition to enter to win $10,000. Once again, that's www.gamedayfoodtraditions.com to enter to win $10,000.
This is Full Change with Tom Laidlaw.
Tom, did you ever get to play in any of those international tournaments? They used to be much earlier. Now I think they're a little bit later. But do you ever go to World Championships?
No, I never did. So usually the teams that don't make the playoffs get to go. I was lucky. I made the playoffs every year when I was playing.
That's true. You guys had a very good run.
Yeah. I did. I had a very interesting year. I've told the story many times with the Canadian Olympic team. The bad part, the good part was that winter before the final tryouts.
Yeah.
They had like 40, 45 guys left as a team. Half of them went, toured around North America. The other half, which I was part of, went over to Europe.
Was it like an A and B or split down the middle?
You split down the middle, yeah.
Okay.
And that was a fantastic trip. Went to France to start with. Played the France national team, or something being like 22-0. I went all over Czechoslovakia. Actually played against the Stasnys, who went on to have great careers. And Czechoslovakia, that was a really great off-ice experience as well. Like we went to all these little towns that were all the same. So that was Czech. Is it the Czech Republic now, or is it?
Now it's Czechia. They just changed it again.
Right.
And Slovakia.
Right. So that was before it became.
Before it split in 91, right. 92.
And so we'd stay in these little hotels, no toilets. They'd have a hole in the floor.
Just like Survivor.
Yeah, they had a hole in the floor, and they had two places where you put your feet to tell you where your feet.
Wait, hold on. This is in 1980 in Czechoslovakia?
Well, 1979, right? Because I turned pro in 80.
You're crapping in a hole.
Yeah. And all the beers, we actually went to Český Budějovice. That's where Budweiser beer was invented.
Oh, wow.
Well, they say, the story is there's one place over in Europe, which is Český Budějovice, and then another place over here where it was made.
St. Louis.
Right. But again, all warm beer. So we're like,
wow.
We're Canadian boys, so we can't have warm beer. So
yeah.
We're hanging out the hotel windows to cool it down. And every place had so crystal. That was the big thing. So guys would load up and buy a crystal because it was so cheap and then shipping it back.
And that's like, it's still Soviet. Soviet bloc behind the Iron Curtain. Yeah. So you see like minders all over the place? Or
yeah, it was, we weren't out at all. We went to the hotel and that was it, and then to the rink. But that was a great experience to go to Europe. I think that was the first time. Yeah, it was the first time I've been to Europe, falling over there.
Would you have gone to the World Championship if asked?
I just, at that point, you just love playing too. Like if if you're eligible to go, that means your team hasn't been that good. You didn't make playoffs.
Right. After hockey.
Yeah, it's a blast. Again, I had learned, and I've been very fortunate in my life. It's another great experience, right? To do something to say, like, again, we've talked about all the stuff. I go back even like driving the truck when I played for the Rangers, again, to survive. And I don't know where that came from in me, but I always had that attitude. I want to try new stuff, right?
Yeah, I know you talk about, we talked about men's league before, but you did play a little, but you said it was a very short-lived career playing men's league. Yeah. So you still play these alumni games. How often do you skate?
Well, I don't get on the ice as much now, and that's the problem, because when you do go to skate in the alumni games, if you have skated, people know that.
you were on the ice when you coached. You coached for quite a while, right?
Yeah, coached for a while. Yep.
Coach both the boys or just coach one of your sons?
So the younger one played a little bit when he was young, but didn't want to continue playing.
Right.
And then Shane, I coached for.
And Shane was a goalie.
Shane was goalie, yeah, and coached him all the time.
Which is great. So he didn't have to listen to any advice you gave him because he's a goalie, you're a defenseman, right?
Yeah, well, I tried to give him advice. I tried to use what he was doing as a metaphor for life, too. So I would say, listen, you've got to come out of the blue paint being the crease. That way you'll cut down the angle better. You got to better. I think to myself, he'll learn a lesson about life, get out of that comfort zone. And he would never listen to me. So, and then some other random coach came along one day, and because Shane says, get out of the blue paint. Shane gets out of the blue paint.
Of course. Well, I coach my son, who's 8, and I coach with Andy Lane, and I coach with a couple of great guys, Kyle Sloan and Brian Strack. So we have like a system where it's like, hey, Thomas isn't listening to me. You tell him to do this, and then Andy will tell him, and he does it right away. And Andy will say, hey, Connor's not listening. Can you tell him to do this? And I tell him, and he listens. So it's so bizarre. I guess they just need to prove themselves. Yeah. You know, they need to just say, I'm not listening. I don't know what it is, but
it was funny. Shane came to me, so he's 32 now, probably 5 or 6 years ago. And he had some conversation or whatever about more life, but getting out of the comfort zone. I think really when I got into the whole motivational world. And he stops, he goes, that's why you were telling me to get out of the blue paint.
There you go. Yeah. So 25 years later, right. And I
tell you, it was a great thing because hockey, for both my boys, I'm very proud of them. But for Shane, hockey was great for him because he wasn't that great of an athlete, but he worked so hard at it that he knew he got better and better, made the high school team and all that. So in his career now in life or in his business, that's the way he is.
Yeah.
He is the guy. If there's a problem can't be solved, they send it to him and he solves it.
That's awesome. He's a fixer. Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the beauty of youth sports. Is that the friendships, the relationships, the lessons learned. There's crazy parents. They want their kid to be in the pros. From 8 years old on, they send them to a million camps and lessons, all that nonsense, and extra training. But the beautiful part of it, and this is a lesson I learned when I was probably 6. My dad was coaching us in baseball. The coach pitcher hit me in the eye, drilled me. I'm crying. I hate baseball. And he's like, you got to get back up. You got to get back in the box. Got to get back in the box. So I finally gin up the courage. Fine, I'll do it. Hits me in the other eye. 2 black eyes. But I didn't quit. And that's the thing. A lot of times you could quit. You could say, I'm done with this. But it teaches you how to get back in, how to get up after you get knocked down. That's the first lesson in hockey with kids. It's like, you're going to fall. You have to get up. Some kids learn it. Some kids don't.
Yeah, totally right. Because the stuff I'm not telling you something you don't know here, but your life is not perfect.
Nope.
You are not perfect, so things are going to happen to you, right? And soon you come to that understanding. They actually practice getting yourself out of the comfort zone. Like I do things like taking a cold shower. You're nice and warm in the shower. You turn it cold. There's a lot of different things.
Yeah, like keeping the air conditioning off in the True Grit Studios in August.
But it really So now when those bad things happen, if you've not been out of your comfort zone before, you're kind of shocked at first. Like now you're sitting there thinking, okay, what am I going to do? As opposed to if you're comfortable being outside your comfort zone, now you say, well, got to get up and get going.
100%. And that's the hard part about parenting too, is you have to let kids, you have to let your kids fail.
Yeah. Who was it? We had that great interview with
Jim Kite, yeah.
The snowplow parents. And that was great the way he put it. And you're right. Obviously, you love your kids. I love my kids. You always want the best for them. But if you're trying to fix things so life is perfect for them, they're just never going to be able to fight.
They'll be coming to you when they're 50 saying, I can't fix this. But that's why you got to let them make their mistakes and get out of those jams.
Yeah. And that, you know what, when I was coaching too at first, it's like, these people all listen to me. I'm Tom Laidlaw. I played in the NHL. Listen to me at all. They love their kids and they know what's right and that's it.
Especially when it comes to their own kids.
Yeah. Until, you know what? And I came to realize, listen, they're not bad people. They love their kids. That's what it is. They just have never been through it before. I've had many parents that come back to me because I coached for so long, 10 years later or 15 years later and say, okay, now I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And I think what happens is, especially when you have young kids, your reality is a little bit distorted in that you think, there's this great website a while back. It was called My Kid is Gifted. And there's all these people saying, there was kids doing dumb stuff, but the parents are like, look how gifted my kid is. Because they all feel that way. But I think once you look through a lens of reality, or have had multiple kids, you're like, okay, listen, these kids are normal. They're supposed to make up. They're not, there's 600 guys that play in the NHL approximately, right? You're one of them. And that's an accomplishment as much as we break balls that you made it. But that's a goal that's attainable by a minuscule percentage of people. So if they can get these lessons in sports, these life lessons, and learn to be on a team and to have friends and to bond and have camaraderie and to fall and fail and have success, then it's worth it.
Right. I'll tell you, the only thing I'd add to that is that I think, and I'd say this to kids too, and to parents, I think it is important to have the goal of playing in the National Hockey League, fully understanding that the odds are against you, but it's that process that you put yourself through to try to get to the National Hockey League that really matters. So now you've said yourself, now you've learned how to get up early, do the extra things, you want to play in the NHL, and I did this, there was a party on Friday night. No, I can't go to the party because I've got to go practice. Right. So those kinds of sacrifices. And then, okay, so you don't make it to the NHL, but now you've got all that stuff ingrained inside you. Sure. Now you want to be successful in something else, or be a good father, or be a good husband. Now you've got all those qualities.
Yeah, and I think you learn something simple as you learn relationships on a team. Like you have to, you learn that you know there's different positions and there's different roles, and you have to take that with you in life. And people, that's the beauty of it again.
Right. And the old Herb Brooks story, Laidlaw, put somebody else in. But that really, I learned that in life now that, and again, we say this to kids, you don't have to be the best player on the team to be successful. Do your role that the coach wants you to do, and you will continue to rise throughout your career, because that next coach at that next level is going to say, well, Laidlaw just does his job. I talked to his coach. Laidlaw just shows up.
Well, that's your Brampton upbringing. Tell you just be dependable, be on time, be reliable, and that's worked for you. That served you very well.
It is funny now too, because even as we're building this podcast, I don't look at the charts. I don't really want to show that much, because I just have always been that way. That all I can worry about is tomorrow get up and do my job.
Keep grinding. Yeah. You keep listening to this podcast. Next guest is Ed Hospodar. You guys are going to love this one.
Eddie Hospodar, good stories here. This is an earth, what do we call this? Like a
earth shattering?
Earth shattering.
Nice. So this could break a lot of records. This is the Boxcar. And if you like what you're hearing so far in this podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and leave us a review on Apple.
Earth shattering.
The Boxcar. Hey, I'm excited, Tom. This is a guy we met down at Philly at the Brian Propp event. He's got one of the great nicknames of all time. Your old friend.
Still friends.
Yeah. Well, are you guys still friends?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Okay, well, after this, we'll see. Yeah. We got Eddie Boxcar Hospodar on the show.
Okay, my first hit in pro hockey, the first time I got hit, Eddie Hospodar was my partner, and he hit me. He was trying to kill somebody down the ice and got us all, knocked us all down like bowling pins. Edward, how are you doing there, Mr. Hospodar?
I can't be better.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, job's well. Just got back from Florida.
We were down there in Philly, and you were telling a story that I had not heard before. Like, when you first started to date your wife. Can you tell us that story? Like, we were on the fishing boat with the Howes. It was Mark Howe and Goride Howe were on the boat.
Oh, that's a great story.
Yeah, so, don't make it like half an hour long. Just 2 minutes.
My girlfriend comes into town. I say that's great, and we play on Saturday. Then we don't play till Thursday. But on Sunday morning, I am getting up and I am going fishing with Marty Howe
and Mark Howe,
and just Marty.
Oh, okay.
And I said, I am going. And she's like, wait, I'm in town. Aren't you going to take me around, see the sights? I said, well, if you want to see me on Sunday, you can come with us on the boat. So we go with Marty Howe, whose father is the great Mr. Hockey Goride Howe. So Dana is very nice and talking to Gordy while we're going out in the boat. And she says, well, what do you do?
So she has no clue. She doesn't know hockey at all, right?
No, she doesn't have it. There's no cell phone where you can Google.
So why was she going out? Why was she going out with you then?
Because I was a nice guy.
Oh, okay.
What I did wasn't important. We were in love or liking each other.
That's what I mean. Like, she actually shows she actually loved you.
She's really attracted to me.
Tom learning life lessons at 65.
After 38 years, she's still attracted.
Wow, that's incredible.
So, anyway, so she asked Gordy what he did, and he said, "Oh, I played hockey." And she she says, "You did. And when did you retire?" And he said, "Well, I retired 3 years ago." And here he is in his 50s, And she starts to laugh. And she says, "No way, no way," and found it really funny. He said, "Yes, that's who I am." So then she said, "Well, if you're a hockey player, you have a nickname." And of course, he said, "Well, they do have a nickname." And goes, well, what is it? And Gordy said to my wife, or girlfriend at the time, or fiance, "You can go."
Hold on, was she like your hockey? Do you have a lot of different girls? Like you said, one's a girlfriend, one's a fiance.
No,
that's the same. That's the same one.
Progression thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Girlfriend,
want to clarify
thing, and still wife. So
okay. I know. Rub that in. I've had 2 of those. Yeah, not anymore, but
I can't afford enough.
I think I can't afford to get divorced. All right, go ahead.
But anyways, so she came running to Marty and I and says, "Oh, your father is so funny." He said, "What?" I asked him what he did, and he told me he played hockey. And then I said he retired 5 years ago. He's the funniest man. And then I asked him what his nickname was, and he tells me it's Mr. Hockey.
Like, that's funny. That's the story.
What is your dad about?
Oh, that's
and he said, well, he did just play hockey, and he is Mr. Hockey. And so she just didn't believe it. She goes back out to Denison in Ohio and said, they asked, what did you do? And they said, oh, I went out with Marty Howe and his father on the boat. And all these people, guys and girls, are saying, you went fishing with Mr. Hockey? She said, phoned up and said, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so upset. No, Gordy loved her. So I thought it was fabulous.
Yeah, you know what? That would probably be pretty refreshing for him, right? Because everybody else would just be, you know, just a hockey player. She can care less. That's good. But let's go back to, like, so did she know that you play hockey?
At first, oh yeah, she knew, but didn't.
So basically, you got this wonderful woman to just love you and had nothing to do with hockey.
Well, you know, she came to the game the one time in Hartford, and there's in the collective bargaining agreement, we got the second level. So they put them in Hartford. The wives' tickets, like, were the second row from the top in the building. So she went there, and I didn't get much ice time. I didn't get much ice time. But
you're the trainer, maybe.
On the ice, when I did get on the ice, we got scored upon. So that probably helped the reason for not to get the ice time. So when later on, she sent me a thank you note in the mail and tweezers and said, listen, next time I come to a game, I would like to sit up front. It's a little closer. I had a hard time seeing you, but I knew where you were because you didn't move. You were always
She's got to
put tweezers to get this.
Wait a minute. She really said she sent you a thank you chirp?
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that's a
wife to carry right there.
Get the ring, right?
Okay, let's talk hockey.
And if I'm going to the game, you may as well play. Otherwise, you could just stay in the bar.
So let me get a handle on things. Are you pretty romantic? Like when you asked her to get married, are you down on one knee and all that?
No, I didn't have time.
Were you busy playing?
Well, I got traded. And I thought, I'm not into this long distance romance thing. This will never go over.
So she was living in Hartford at the time. That's where you met her?
No. She was in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
She was in Philly. So, and I said, well, I'll go back to Philadelphia, get my, I'll go back to Philadelphia because I got traded to Minnesota. I was playing in Fire, and I got traded to Minnesota. There's a jeweler in Minnesota that guys went to. So I just had him bring over a ring and a stone that I'd looked at because I wasn't playing. So I had time to take a look and say, all right, I'll go pop the question. And if she says yes, then I'll get married. And if she says no, well, then I'm in Minnesota. I'll put them some fancy free. Luckily, I got the yes.
Wow, good. Great. Did she think about it a little bit, or did she automatically said yes?
No, I think she told her mom that she wasn't into a long term and she was ready to break up with me. Oh. So if I would have let her go first, she would have broken up with me. But I gave her the ring. She said,
Tom knows all about that.
Yeah, I believe it. We lose the rings too. Buying rings and losing them.
Oh, you lose a ring?
Well, because taken in the divorce.
Whatever.
Yeah. That's a gift.
Whatever.
So there's one now, just so everybody knows, Eddie Hospodar is one of the toughest players ever played in the National Hockey League. So when I tell the story about the Clark Gillies story, I'm telling it because it's kind of funny at the ending. So I don't know if I think I heard the story from Clark Gillies. So
I think it's safe to say, in the correct terminology of the day, Ed fed a lot of people lunch.
Yes.
But he also one time he ate lunch.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. I ate.
So Clark Gillies is one of the toughest men I've ever seen. Scary man. So Eddie's taking him on all the time. We're playing in Madison Square Garden. And I think Clark said I think you got him mad or something the game before in the island.
I had him. Herbie made me stop.
Herb Brooks.
Bench door open on a thing, and I had him push through, and his back of his head is up against
that's what it was. Yeah.
The bench, and I was kneeing him. And Herbie said,
what made you think to knee Eddie Clark Gillies?
What made you think to knee him?
Yeah, but you're going to get, like, I would be thinking to myself, okay, I'm kneeing him right now. He's going to get up, and he's going to want to kill me.
He couldn't get up.
Okay, all right.
He couldn't get up. He was defenseless. Like he felt the door open with the thing, and Herb, Smurf, no fight. Thing. He said, you did the right thing. You stopped. He'll remember. It'll make you a better man.
So I guess the next night
four nights later, Madison Square Gardens, New Year's Eve.
Oh no.
Punches me, cuts me big time.
Was that when he broke the jaw, though, too?
Yeah. And then I thought, duck. So he punches me in the helmet, and lo and behold, he came in with the uppercut up over floor and where I had the mouth guard, and where in the back of and then I'm on the bus, the ambulance up to uptown, and
That was one of the most gruesome things I remember. I think I was on ice.
Big eye. But then later on, I played with him.
Yes, that's what I was going to go with. So now you're in Buffalo together, right?
We're in Buffalo together, and first thing I have to go into the locker room and grab Clark Gillies. I grab Mark Napier. I grab Mike Ramsey. And I bring and I talk, and I said, "Hey, I'm sorry for not getting Mike your tooth out. Mark Napier, I'm sorry for knocking your upper teeth out, 5 of them or whatever." And then I looked at Clark and said, "And you owe me apologies for knocking mine down."
Clark tells the story later on, though, that he invited you over for dinner.
Yes, Halloween. And his daughter came by the kitchen counter, the table, and wanted to know, nice to meet you. You're a hockey player too. Do you have your own teeth? And she asked, there was a couple of us here. And then she asked me in particular, do you have your teeth? And I said, well, matter of fact, I don't. Kissing a few. Well, how did you lose them? I said, and maybe she knew, but I don't think so. She was too young. But I said, well, some with a stick, then with a puck. But then when she left, I said, you're lucky. I should have said, father's drove down my mouth.
Clark is such a good guy, too. Like, when we played against him,
you're a jerk. I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
No, you say whatever you wanted. Is this a tradition? Like, if you get traded to a team, you have to kind of make amends with the guys you fought with?
Yeah. I thought, like, you end up being tighter. Like, Tonelli and I hated each other. We played, John Tonelli played
he was on the podcast. Maybe he still does hate you.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But we ended up being great friends, got traded out to L.A. I don't know, Eddie, how you were with some of the guys. Kind of a little bit.
Well, at first it was tough. I mean, Mark Napier's wife absolutely was not happy because their whole summer was wrecked. He was getting dental work done.
Which you just cross-check him? Cross-check
really bad. His teeth marks were in my stick.
Woo. Okay, I've always wanted to ask you a question, okay? Very serious question. Did you calculate some of those things you did on the ice there to build your reputation? Did you think to myself, I need to do something nutty out here tonight so people will remember me and always stay away from it, be scared of me all the time?
Like break a stick over your head?
You know what? I always thought that I was an okay fighter, a way better hitter, but I did some things that were just off the charts, like
okay, I'll give you an example.
Best friends with Don and Donnie Maloney or Dave and Gresh and went after them and made more hate.
Right, but I mean, that also built your reputation, though, right? That was good for me.
And that gave me more money.
So did you actually think of that, though? Did you think to yourself, I need to act a little bit nutty out here to increase my value?
Yeah, I thought so. You're bringing me in, you're doing this and that. You know what? I think I sold tickets too.
Oh, yeah.
In September, October, when nobody wants to go to a game, let's go to the game and watch
sure.
Hospodar and so, like a WWF wrestling.
So we were playing in Hartford with Eddie was with Hartford, and one of the nicest kids in the world, a great player, Jan Eriksson. He's coming out of our zone, and he's carrying the puck. Nothing's really going on in the game, and all of a sudden, Eddie comes barreling in, drives an elbow right into his head. So I think Nicky was on your team at the time, right? Yeah. But we had
but Barry Beck was on your team.
Right. Barry Beck, Chris Kotsopoulos. We thought now they were trying. So we had Eddie pinned on the ice. I actually helped you in that because I got on top of you. Said, Eddie, just stay right here because they wanted to kill him. Like Barry Beck wanted to kill him. He finally got up, made his way to the down to get off the ice, and Barry Beck's like sprinting down the ice to try to get to Eddie. If you watch the video. And I thought to myself, there was no need to do that to Jan Eriksson as far as the game goes, but that helped enhance Eddie Hospodar's career doing that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean...
I don't mean that in a bad way, Ed.
Loud.
Yeah.
Got me pressed, maybe got me into, I don't know. It just was like...
You built your brand.
The bigger thing was Dana, who now my wife, was like, I'm confused.
Yeah, because she's a sweetheart off the ice. Yeah.
Pre-game brawl. And everybody's going to Dana's mom and dad, who are
like doing that.
Nice people, innocent people, don't know the sports, whatever. Is that guy the one that started the fight before the game? Like the one? Oh yeah,
you tell it's like pro wrestling. Like it's just my character, Boxcar.
That's what. Yeah.
Oh god.
But I think I did a good job at. Making people mad and pissing them off.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
An element to the team. I also did good stuff at times. Like, remember when Baxter scored a goal? Or I think his name was Baxter.
Paul Baxter, Pittsburgh.
He was tough too.
Scored, and then he scored. He picked up the puck and threw it out into our bench.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Wow, that's ballsy.
Like that was bold. That was big. And I at least stood up. Craig Patrick was happy about that.
Yeah.
Like somebody did, rather than sit back and say,
well, what you would do, you would drag the rest of us into the fight too. Like if we were not in the game, you would get us into the game, right? You do something that we're forced. There's just no choice. We had to participate. Right?
we're the brawl in L.A.
Yeah.
Eddie, can I just set this up for a second?
Hold on. What is that?
Because there's a great picture. Anyone who's listening can go look at this. Go look it up on Google. And you got to see he's pumping Marcel Dion with some rights, but you got to look for Laidlaw's face.
I look like I'm crying.
It's just a great Picture. Go Google it.
I think I'm mad, but it looks like I'm crying.
But we're talking about the 1981 playoff series. They did it back then where like one played 16. So the Rangers were not playing the Kings in the first round. And a huge brawl gets started by our current guest. I'm sorry, go ahead, Ed.
Well, first of all, I set a Ranger record, as I showed you for that game, or one time I showed you that for scoring a goal 20.
That's right. Yes.
8 seconds into the game, April 9th, 1981. And then I don't get a shift again. And something happens at the end of the period. Somehow I'm out there and somebody pushing and shoving. So
I like that. The innocent, like somehow.
I'm not going to, Freddie's talk, you're not going to play the first 5 minutes of any, the last 5 minutes of any period. What can you do to help this team?
Yeah.
And some guys might say, well, I'm not going to go do it. I was like, well, it sure beats that iron lung, that bus in New Haven, the private airplanes that we get, the charters.
Right.
So I was like looking for someone to go after. And I was like, well, why should I pick somebody bigger than me or somebody there? I'll pick a big name. I went after Marcel Dion, Hall of Fame, captain of the team.
5'7", 200 pounds.
Yeah.
But he was a willing combatant, though, too. He could fight. He wasn't like he was good.
But he didn't want to get out, out of the game. So he was like very nice to me. He didn't beat me up. So,
but was the code back then that you didn't fight the other guy's stars, or was it different?
Oh, I definitely think you never went after if you did, there should be a code now too. You don't take a shot at so and so without a teammate or a lesser caliber stepping up and in.
You did,
we set a record that day for fines and. For fines and
somebody knows that earlier in the game, Barry Beck and Rick Chartrand squared off too. And Bubba comes across, the linesman gets in between the two of them, and Barry comes across with the left and just smokes him. And Shardy was a good guy. He played here later on, a great guy too. He had cut him wide open, knocked him on his rear end. So that really kind of set the tone. And now at the end of the period, now we're all moving around
and they weren't. And LA Kings, which is like they were not into that. They were not prepared for.
Well,
we had a tough team, and then we had some really great talent. There's talent guys that could play and carry that. So that was a fantastic. We knocked them up in St. Louis.
When you grab Dion and you're pumping him, is he like saying, well, what the hell? Like, does he know what's going on there? Or he's okay. He's trying.
I'm just hoping that somebody doesn't come in and I'm like, you are going to you are in so much trouble right now. Get out of here.
Oh yeah, that was we had
we're going to see. And then this is Brian O'Neill. I'm the head of the NHL disciplinary board. I said, I know, I met you. It's like 3 times.
Frequent flyer.
That's funny. So remember, we had yourself. There was Chris Katsopoulos, Barry Beck.
Where was Nicky Fotiu during that?
He was hurt.
He was in the stands, but he got involved.
Oh yeah, we didn't hear the story.
He comes down from the stands.
Yeah.
So
he gets to the glass, and the glass.
Well, what happened was a player on their team that was not dressed reached over and grabbed you from behind and pulled you back like towards the bench to try to control you. So all of a sudden, like this white, I think Nicky had like a white suit on or something like that. This white flash come down out of the stands, and he just ragdolled this guy, throwing around. It's just like, when you watch the video, it's just hilarious to watch it now.
But it was another classic brawl that lasts like it seems like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Zigzagging from one end to the other, and then we're trying to go off, and no, that's the Zamboni entrance. We're at totally the wrong end of the building. We have no idea how we're to get off, and just go in the showers because then I'm done. I know how I'm exhausted.
Bill Chadwick was doing the color commentary. Great guy.
Whistle.
Yeah. He goes, this is gonna set the game back 30 years. Ranger fans love it when you go to an event now. They know you played on that team. They want to talk about it all the time.
Wow, was that your New York accent impression? There?
They just set the game back 30 years. That's pretty good. That's exactly that, Kim. That's exactly
It's on TV.
Yeah.
Shoot the puck, Barry.
Shoot the puck, Barry.
And the kiss of death. You'd get called up from New Haven, be happy to be playing, so you get a courtesy interview with the big whistle, and his send off to you is the last line, and you're gonna be a Ranger for a long, long time. It was like, don't say it, because as soon as you say that, I'm going to.
So Eddie had touched on something there before. So it was myself, Chris Katsopoulos, and Eddie were all rookies together. And Freddie Sherrill, the late Freddie Sherrill, was coaching at the time.
Trapdoor. It's in the
Trapdoor too, you're right.
Trapdoor,
yep. So he calls the four of us in. We're all like 6'2", 215 pounds. He says, okay, like Eddie said, you're not going to play the first 5 minutes of the game. You're not going to play the last 5 minutes of the game. Now, Freddie never talked either. I think that was maybe the only conversation I had with him. He said, now you're all 6'2", 215 pounds. I'm not telling you to fight. Like he said, but what do you think you can do to help this team?
What can you do to help this team?
Yeah.
Well, for fans or listeners who don't know, he was the coach of the Flyers with the Broad Street Bullies team that won the 2 cups. So he had that rep for tough players.
He got fired later on the year too. We were that bad that he got fired. I think he got hired.
Phil got his job. Phil Esposito. We was sitting beside Sonny Werblin all the time.
I never thought about it because Phil retired halfway through the year, and then shortly after that, Freddie got fired.
Yeah, right. But Phil was like sitting beside Sonny, and then when he went up into the box to do the TV, he had such a great follow. In my opinion, he had such a great following and such a great relationship with Sonny that he had Sonny's ear.
Sonny was the owner of the Rangers at the time.
Yeah.
Go for
Sonny Werblin. Golden Western, that's right.
But I do think Fred was in his fog era where
he put
how do you want to play the power play? How do you want to penalty kill?
He put me in front of the net there on the power play, so that's pretty.
Then he got fired the next game.
Yeah, I did.
Why was his nickname the Fog?
You
know what? I believe that, quite honestly, he didn't like crowds of people. He just went away aloof. He liked to have a couple beers or pops every once in a while. Yeah, I think he just was there and he tried. He was out. He was in his own world. He didn't want to be around people, right? You didn't go to talk to Fred unless Fred wanted to talk to you.
Totally true. Yeah, like I said, he really didn't talking pregame speeches or.
Went to Mike Nicolak.
Yeah, true.
Mike Nicolak did all the talking for him.
Was he
probably saved his
Yeah.
So Ed, I don't want to jump ahead too far, but you were also involved in another legendary brawl too, right? A few years later.
A brawl. I'm involved with a brawl that never happens.
The 1987 Flyers Canadiens brawl. Pre-game brawl, right?
Yeah,
that's right. So what was there? No penalty spot?
They didn't know what to do. We had 24 guys dressed.
Well, let's set the scene. Let's go from the beginning.
So I had to think of what I can do to help the team.
Select.
So I am a healthy scratch in game 1, and I know that this guy Claude Lemieux shoot the puck into the open net.
And in your open net.
This is a warm up.
In the opposing team's net after everybody's off the ice.
Right. So just again for our listeners, there's like an unwritten rule where you don't cross the red line in warm-up.
There's no rule. There's never
it's unwritten.
Yeah. I just thought that I had nothing to do. I was dressed. I was in case somebody pulled a groin, you got hit with a puck that came off a post and couldn't play or whatever. That's why you'd be in. And we just used to dress 1 or 2 guys, right? Extra time for warm up, and then the coach might see the sheet and you might play, but generally knew you weren't going to play. Right. So I knew that because Claude Lemieux is a year younger, and that used to like to shoot the puck in the net afterwards. And I thought that's kind of like childish.
It's a dig move.
Yeah,
but Eddie's looking for a reason too. So let's.
I'm thinking it's childish, and you know what? So what would I do? And Phil Esposito, right, was so superstitious about sweaters being hung up. He had all the Italian horns in the back with the mojo going on, right? And you want people to eat in the certain times and do things in a certain way. So if that's Lemieux thinks that him shooting the puck in the net is his way of
in the Flyers net
leaving the ice, I'm going to practice those. So now I see him do that, and I was like, I think that's kind of bad. So I said, I have nothing to do. Why don't I just stay on the ice? The warm-up comes, the Zamboni's coming on the ice, and they're going around with these little sweepers that blow the dust off the dasher boards and all that. and I set up 4 pucks, and I have a 5th, and I stick handling in the Montreal Forum, like a cathedral for hockey. You're doing hockey skills at 7:15 when the game starts at 7:30. This is stupid, Ed. You look pretty dumb out here. But Lemieux, he kept wanting to shoot the puck, and he couldn't. Finally, he shoots one, and I knock it down, and I grab the one I have and fire it right back at his head.
I didn't see that part. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It was curved away. So we win. We won the game. So next game, I do not dress for warm-up, and they don't do anything, and he shoots the puck into the net, and the series is tied. Next game, I take the net off the hinges and put it up against the boards, and when the guy comes around sweeping, the dashers pull it off, and he does. We win. We're up 2-1.
Oh, I didn't know this other games. Oh, I didn't know that.
Next game, with the guys, I do not dress. They push it in, but they don't leave the ice, and Lemieux is right there, and I'm saying, hey, wait, and Lemieux skates down, gets the pass from McPhee, as he always did, because McPhee pulled that upside, and he tucks it in. Seriously, I chew a piece all over again, so back up. I stop him. The next game, there's no way. I'm like, he's waiting to do it, and I'm like, hey, man, I'm not leaving the ice. These guys talking, you got to get off the ice, man. We're here to do it. I said, not until, no way, I'm hurt. Well, now we get to game 6. We dress like 5 extra guys for warm-up. One of Keenan's stories, that's a whole 30-minute story there. And Chico and I stay out,
Chico Mesh.
In Montreal, when the Canadiens left the ice, stopped the fans from going, they pulled the curtain. Well, they pulled the curtain a little earlier than I remember them pulling.
Good to see.
And old Lemieux was hiding behind the curtain. And
I didn't know that.
When I got off the ice, they pulled the curtain back, and Lemieux goes out to shoot the puck in. But when I was telling him, and Don Cherry knew nothing. Don Cherry says he knew that this was going to happen and all that stuff. No, I didn't know. I was the guy that caused it.
Oh, yes, you did.
And I decided to do it after somebody said something to me, and I was pissed off about always being sent out to fight and all that. So I said, if I'm getting in trouble, I'm going to take this guy down with me. It was Mike Keenan, who always wanted to make us fight and do that. But he said, if he steps over the red line.
Oh, so Keenan told you that?
Well, he sent the message through Birch.
Jack Birch. What a Ted Sayers assistant.
But anyways, it's funny is when the books were written, I was told it was planned. We had 5 extra guys dressed. Tommy, this is the first time I ever said it. I can't believe I've told somebody like out loud. So now I'm trying to tell him before the game, like, Claude, don't do.
Oh, really? So you tried to warn him?
Don't do it. And he said, Hetty, I'm not afraid of you, your old dog and all that. And I said, no, but I got a whole bunch of other dogs behind me.
Dave Brown.
Wolves that are going to try to eat you up because Keenan's made us so go out and fight. And if you didn't.
Hold on, Eddie, what's that? So you told him during the game that, listen, Keenan's got this all set up.
No, warm up. No, I was trying to tell him, but we couldn't stop because tensions were so high, and he was like, "No,
how do you think?"
I was trying to be honest with him.
Yeah,
I was being honest with him. Like, don't do it.
Right?
Don't do it. And he was saying, "I'm not afraid of you." And I was like, "You don't understand, man. Don't try. Today's a bad day, not because Mike Scott, Don Knockbauer,
Dave Brown,
me. I'm not on the game sheet." Oh. Don Knockbauer is not on the game sheet. There's guys that aren't on the game sheet. Now, Montreal only had guys that were on the game sheet. They try to come on the ice. They try to score the goal. We come out after them. I start fighting, and then everybody comes out of the locker room. Goes,
Eddie, do you go after Lemieux first?
Yeah, I skated. I went after him, and then you see, if you watch the pregame brawl fight, because I say, ooh, I could get charged with something if I actually break this guy's nose or cause him thing, and he can lose his income. I thought, like, what? And this is meditated versus unthought of on the ice.
So you're really thinking that at the time? Wow.
I thought about guys saying, I'm going to get you. Right. Well, wait, if you say I'm going to get you, that's meditated. Yeah, you thought about going after somebody. And the reason I knew about that too is, well, this leads into another story but anyways, let me stay on this one. all the guys come out, all the brawls happen. Now the referees aren't even on the ice. When they finally go back and they can look at a film or see what's being done, well, let's kick Knockbauer out of the game. Let's hit Hospodar, let's hit Stanley or whatever. They look at the game sheet. They're not even on the game sheet. They're not even on the game sheet. But you looked at Larry Robinson, Chris Nyland,
Chelios,
McPhee, Lemieux, right? McPhee. They're all on the game sheet. They would have had to go up in the press box and find the backups who are probably already having a Shen show, a hot dog, and
the Shen show. Oh yeah,
to play. So they didn't give any penalties out. And then the next morning, I have my hearing right away, and it's a record, I think, for baseball, basketball, football. I'm the only person ever to be suspended for, you wait your whole life to go to the Stanley Cup. Right. The Stanley Cup as a kid, right? You dream about it. Right. We're going to the Stanley Cup, and I get 7-game suspension.
Oh, did you?
Can't play anything. Wow. And then that's interesting, too, because Keenan doesn't want me on the plane. I sneak on the plane.
Whoa, hold on. Go back up.
Keenan did not watch on the plane?
Well, it would be a distraction, right? Wouldn't you, every reporter want to talk to you about, what happened, how'd it go? Oh, yeah, we had 5 extra guys dressed. I'll get you a lot of views on this one.
Oh, yeah. Eddie, so he tells you can't get on the plane because you're suspended. How do you get on?
Sneak back on. Keenan used to ride in the back of the bus, and so I just popped my way in. And when he went to the back, I just jumped in the front.
Oh, that's hilarious. This is a great story. See, there's a lot of stuff I didn't realize, like the games before there was.
So I've been quiet for 30-some years on 86 is that. Well, it's just bad. Flyers wrote a book, 50 years or whatever. You open up that book, there's not one word about a pregame brawl, which was a pretty big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's plenty of YouTube for that, though.
Now that I look back, I think I got tired of doing, at that point, I think I knew that what we were doing was wrong it was the world, world wrestling, or whatever. But in real, guys would get hurt. Or I'm not saying that wrestlers don't get hurt, but it was real, and it was bad for the sport. And so something not very.
So Eddie,
actually, I did it, but looking back now, we're all just saying, probably not the way the sport should play.
But Eddie, so a lot of fighters you talk to, especially from the past in that era, they say they really didn't like fighting, but they knew they had to fight. Did you like the fighting?
No, I was afraid all the time because you can get hurt and messed up. And now, later on in life, I think taking some of the bangs or the hits, if you want to go on YouTube and say, look at Hospodar Stasny decapitated or whatever, Hospodar decapitated, sore in the neck and beat up, hand is sore, and I was in the show and I was young. I didn't get married till the end of my career. That's why I had a funny thing, on the ice, I broke it. If I did what I did on the ice, off the ice, I'd have a bullet in me or I'd be in jail, or, you just can't do that stuff. You shouldn't do that stuff.
So before we let you go, Eddie, I get one more
I'm not going to be reborn or anything. It's still in my past.
I've got one more funny story I have to tell before we let you go. So we're playing, I'm with the Rangers, Eddie's playing with the Flyers. We're in pregame warm-up, and I think myself and maybe Mike Allison are shooting pucks at Eddie's feet down at the other end to try to distract him and have fun with him. Now, this is the Mike Keenan era. He sees this whole thing, and I'll let you take it from here.
You know what? It's like all of a sudden, bang, you get into the stick, or if you're skating and sometimes you have a puck and one of the guys will try to shoot and hit your puck away, like 10-year-old stuff.
He's calling. If
a nice way of saying hi, shooting the puck in your skates and get out of here. But Keenan's in the press box watching all this stuff. And if he sees you against your old team, that your buddy out there, better see you get him. He's your friend. You let him walk around you. You're not friends and all that stuff. I understand. But, I understand I still have to play a game. And that's why I probably said, all right, well, during the game's game, and I have to play to to this particular level of stupidity or toughness. But Mike would get mad at you.
Didn't he take you out of the lineup for that game?
Oh, he would do stuff like that.
Yeah. So I remember that game, he took Eddie. So we now go back on the ice to play, and Eddie's not in the lineup any longer. We're doing that every game because we don't want to play against Eddie.
Oh, yeah. Get away from me. I can't be your friend or whatever, you know.
I know, yeah. So, but that's the way the game was back then. Well, listen, Eddie, it's been fantastic catching up with you again. And I really mean this when I say it. And we have a lot of guys on. I tend to say it like this. I really do admire a guy like yourself. And I say this as a total compliment. You didn't make it on your skill. You made it on your heart. You did what you had to do to play in the NHL, and you did it well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It was great to see you again, Eddie. Thanks for coming on the show.
Right.
Thanks, Ed.
Have a great one. Dom.
That was a great convo with your buddy Eddie Boxcar Hospodar.
Told some great old stories, some scoops out of that I didn't know about before.
He did. Yeah. It was a big scoop on the Flyers Canadiens brawl.
Brawl, yeah.
But I mean, I think you could probably figure that out based on who the coach was.
Yeah, with Keenan there too. It's funny. What a jerk. I mean, everybody talks about him, just hates him.
We've had a lot of guests. I think Dukes was the only one who said he was a dick. Everyone else like, the guy's just a dick.
Yeah, I know. And I've told a story too. We tried out for the Canadian Olympic team together, and he was like, when he was looking for a job. Yes, I did try out for the Canadian.
No, I didn't realize it. I don't think you did tell the story. He was, as a player, he tried out.
Yeah, he tried out. Yeah, he was a wuss. I was going to use another word, but I won't. So he was not very. That's the thing about him. He was such a wuss as a player. Then to act as a coach like that. And then when he was done coaching and he was looking for a job, he was trying to get a job in Atlanta. When Don Waddell, my former roommate, was there, and he was calling me. Keenan was calling me, like acting like he was my buddy. And,
oh, really?
Yeah, I tried to get the
So
job.
he's just a two-face.
Oh, totally. Yeah, he'd walk by me. The inspector or whoever it was wouldn't pay attention to me. We knew each other.
Right. Oh, yeah. Then he didn't make that team, did he?
No, I didn't either.
But you didn't. He didn't make it because of his ability. But I know why you. Father Bauer?
Father Bauer came,
job.
handed me my ticket, sent it home.
How was Keenan as a player? Any good?
No, he was just a soft guy. Yeah. So that's when he see him like grabbing guys like Knockbauer. When Eddie tells the story, grabbing Knockbauer in the locker room, really surprised me because he wasn't like that as a player at all.
So when he got that Iron Mike nickname, you guys like, is this for real? Like, how do you react to that?
Well, I think he got it and earned it based on the way he was acting towards his players, and that was his reputation. So we just accepted it. But most guys were like, what a jerk. Yeah, like, you know, he's one of those guys that really act tough, like he stand up on the boards there and he's trying to steer you down.
Yeah, right. Like, what are you gonna do with it? But Eddie was great. Boxcar was he was kind of a nut on the ice.
Yeah,
he seemed to that was his role.
Right. And I always want to ask him, did you do it intentionally? Did you know the things you're doing? Because some of the stuff he did, like, you just losing your mind out there or what? So,
they sound like he did, and he speaks very highly of you. I know you really you're fond of Eddie. Great show, man.
Yes, it was another good one.
Please like and subscribe, and leave us a review if you feel so inclined to do it. It helps us a lot.
Now, do it now. All right, Grasshoppers, thank you for listening. We had a fantastic show. We'll see you next time.
Schwab Trading is now powered by Ameritrade to give you a new, elevated trading experience tailor-made for trader minds. Go deeper with Thinkorswim, the powerful, award-winning trading platforms now at Schwab. Unlock support from the Trade Desk, our team of passionate traders who live and breathe trading like you do. And sharpen your skills with an expanding library of online education crafted just for traders. All designed to help you trade brilliantly. Learn more at schwab.com/trading.